So one of the more challenging things that my wife told me about 6 months ago, and I'm probably still a little bit upset with that, is that she told me that many people perceive me as a know-it-all. And the truth is, and the truth hurts, the truth is that's absolutely true. I talk a lot on this channel about building wealth, about doing things about performance, doing things that are related to making you feel good inside, all of these kind of things. People are not ready to listen to them until they're actually ready to actually feel or be part of what I'm actually saying. And I struggle with that a lot. And that's where I am practicing a lot of the internal stuff that I talk about, where I simply have to just say, this is the way it is. And I'm okay with saying that. And if you don't want to listen, if I'm not there for you at this moment, then that's okay. And I think about that as like, hey, how do you actually build wealth, right? Like, what's the simple things to actually do? And we know this is not rocket science. In fact, this is built into all of the rules and regulations of much of how the world works in most Western and modern countries, where you invest 10 to 20% of everything that you make in index funds, pay off your debts, all of your debts, your student loans, all of those kind of things, pay off your house, all of those kind of basic things. And you do that in a very systematic way. And it takes a long time to actually get that done. But you do that in a very systematic way where you do that. And then you can actually build wealth. You can build a substantial amount of wealth where people are going to, where you're going to be okay. And the fact is that's hard to do. And the fact is nobody's going to want to listen to how to do that until you're actually ready to get to that moment where you can do that yourself, and where you are thinking, it's in my head that I can do that. And I think about this whole thing that I do, it's not for the individuals that are not ready for that. And that's the majority, right? That the majority of the people are not going to want to actually listen or think about what I actually talk about. That this is very much an internal process where you determine that I am actually going to turn my life around, and that I am not going to pay attention to the outside world, and I'm going to do things that build wealth, that make me successful, that make me feel good inside. This is doing very simple things I've always talked about, right? Saving 10 to 20% of everything that you make. When you're a PhD student, you can't quite do that, but man, you can live pretty poorly and get away with it, and try to do that as long as you can. I know that's very painful. I have been there. Part of the reason why I actually talk about this, because I understand the feelings of what you're going through, right? The sort of simple day-to-day thing where you push away the outside world and you say, no, I'm fine. I'm fine if I need to go to the food bank. I'm totally fine to do these things. I'm totally fine to live in a much smaller place, and I'm okay to actually do that. And, it's challenging to do this because it requires you to think about some things that you don't want to think about. And many of us will never do that. And that's okay. The only thing I can do is do my part and put this out there and say, hey, if you want to do well, there's a ton of books out there that you can read about personal finance, and you just need to read one or two and you're totally fine. If you want to do well, you need to practice on the putting barriers around me where I'm okay and everything inside of me is okay. And then there's the outside world. Let them do their thing. And then you have to do this thing where you say, it's not my problem, and stop kind of dwelling on what else is going on in the outside world. And you just get up and you love yourself, you love your family, and that's it, right? Like, I think those very simple things are hard to do for most of us, and we're not ready to hear it. And I can say this as many times as I possibly can say it, But if you're not ready to hear it, if you're not ready to be there, that's okay. And I encourage you to just have a wonderful day today. That's all I want you to do. If you're not ready to listen to this, if you're just not ready, just have a wonderful day. Go and enjoy it. Have a great day. If you are ready to listen to some of these things, I'd encourage you to start working on those basic things. Save 10 to 20%. Start paying off your debts, right? Like there's this guy out there, and you probably have heard of him, Dave Ramsey. I'm not a big fan of kind of his political views and things like that, but a lot of this stuff is actually pretty legit in terms of how to do this, right? Like you just work on, I'm actually going to get myself out and intend to get myself out of this mess that I'm part of, but I need to actually do this myself. And most people are not going to do that. And most people are just not going to have the courage. They're not going to go there because it's a hard thing to actually do. And so what can I do? For me, is just to say, go have a nice day. But for you, you can start doing these things. You can say, I'm going to do this. This is going to be a little bit of work, but I'm going to do this. I am going to do a very simple thing today where, maybe I am going to do something where, I don't know, maybe I need to go on a diet. I don't know I don't know. If you need to do that thing, then you start working on that, right? I'm not a big fan of diets, but, I'm a big fan of walking. I'm a big fan of shifting your diet and doing things like that. But that might be the thing that you need to do, right? To get that empowerment, to feel like you can actually do this. I just encourage you to go do those simple things that give you power inside and allow you to know this is how we're actually going to do these things and be okay with who I am. So that's it. That's my message is I can't fix everybody. That's not what this is intended for. Yes, I might be a know-it-all, but if you want to make a positive change, just start doing those positive changes inside, and you need to actually to do that. There's no video I or somebody else or no podcast that anybody's ever going to do that is going to make you turn around. You have to decide to do that yourself. You have to think, hey, I'm good inside, I'm going to work on this. Or if I'm not good inside, I know that I'm going to constantly work on this, right? And I want you to see that I struggle a lot inside, but I work on that. I try to do the things that keep me going, that keep me solid inside, because I know that there's a lot of pressures. There's a lot of not very fun things that happen in this world, but I'm just going to keep working on that one day at a time. I encourage you to do that too. All right. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Bye.